All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 128, 2025 NFC North free agency moves. We're probably getting a little bit of draft stuff, too. I think we've got some of that as well. Hey, my Bears are cooking. The Vikings are sailing. Packers are kind of waiting. And Amon-Ra and his brother, they're crying. They're all crying. Hey, lots to talk about. Let's get going. Welcome back, Dre. Where can I find you as we get started?
So I'm at Skullman Sports on X, Blue Sky, and Facebook. You can hit me up talking about pretty much, honestly, all Minnesota sports, but obviously football-based Viking sports.
Well, yeah, like and subscribe. A lot of great stuff there. And obviously, you can find me on NFL Outdated on Twitter X. And on the good side here with you, Dre. Now, on the other side of the coin, where can we find you, Miles?
Hey, good evening, guys. You can find me on the Packers Talk YouTube channel on Monday nights at 9:30, doing the Pack Weekly podcast. No nonsense, just Packers Talk. We're deep into the draft stuff right now, so
I get
hang out with us.
All good stuff with the draft, and just kind of, waiting and not doing much with the free agency. It's kind of Packers way. That's all right.
I'm okay with our moves so far. I'm
All
okay.
Right.
I'm okay.
All right. Well, we'll get into that as well. And I'll always welcome back you, sir. Seventh letter. Where can we find you as we get
Who you talking about? Who you talking about? The king of the NFC North? Who ain't worried about none of y'all, man?
Touche.
I should stand up and do the whole show standing up. 7th letter 4, Twitter X. 7th letter 4, Twitter X. Same OG, Instagram and Facebook. And still on top of the NFC North, man.
Hashtag sitting out free agency.
I mean, I gotta pay my people that I drafted. I don't have to go outside and bring in a whole new team for other people that got cut. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Bears fans don't understand that, man.
hey, we're flying high. But Janzi, thanks for tuning in here. Lions don't cry, they roar, baby. Well, obviously we'll see.
And win the North and go 6-0 in the North. Go ahead, continue.
All right. That's fair. But hey, the talk of the off season so far now obviously is my Bears, and we made some great splashes. Obviously, looking at some of those splashes, we'll just go ahead and start right away. That offensive line, oh my goodness, just got so much better. Drew Dahlman, 3-year, $42 million deal that includes $28 million guaranteed. He is my new best friend. I will be trying to hang out with him and get some of his monies as well. But hey, when you look at where the Bears were in 2024 and 2025 already. I mean, this revamped offensive line is, I don't know, second to none in the division, I think, right? I mean, I think we're even better than the Lions on offensive line so far when you add Drew Dahlman in there. 7th letter, what do you think? You're worried, aren't you?
I mean, y'all got better.
Okay, I'll take that.
The game still has to be played. I'm not worried. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's just going to be even more competitive as it was last year. So it's all right. Like I want everybody to get better because I want to be able to beat those teams in the AFC that I got to play in the Super Bowl next year. So it's all right.
I get it. All right. Hey, Super Bowl might go through Chicago though now, especially on the
remember 2023 had a big one in too. Remember 2024 Keenan Allen trade, all that.
I think those are actually both years. Those are both years that the Lions didn't go to the Super Bowl as well, right?
But we beat shit out of y'all.
That's true. What?
Matter of fact, 5-1.
Hey, I get it. We're adding the offensive side of the ball, the trenches, and I think the Bears also win the offseason. I had never heard of this guy, but Dayo Odeyingbo, 3-year, $48 million contract, defensive end. We got another one of our guys. Just really stockpiling offensive line and defensive line. Loving that. Now this one, and hopefully you're going to come back soon, Miles, because this one is for you. Grady Jarrett, Pro Bowl defensive tackle, 3-year, $43.5 million deal. with the Bears. Grady Jarrett caught on open mic saying a little bit of something about Jordan Love. Miles, did you hear a little bit about that? About
Grady Jarrett talking about Jordan Love?
Yeah.
I missed that. What did he say?
Oh, he was tackling him when he was with the Falcons, and you'll have to Google it about what he was calling him. The B word, I believe. But we don't say that. It's a family show. It's a family show.
Hey, Matt,
Of course.
What was the score?
Yeah, exactly.
Google that.
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
Sorry about it. Sorry about it. No, I'm not worried about that. There's a reason that I'm not familiar with it, right?
Yeah,
We don't mess around with nonsense.
Just run right at him like everybody else. Like, boy.
You know what? What I love about all these moves, right? The trenches, number one, but number two, it really opens us up for the draft. I mean, and if I was going to have to, go offensive line, offensive tackle right away, but you never know now. The Bears could they could go Ashton Gente, they could go best player available, whatever it is. Here we go. Oh, I love this Janzi. He's talking about Janzi talking about Jordan Love bust. That's another B word that he called him. Might have called him. We'll go with that one. That's the family friendly version of it.
Nonsense.
But so obviously we're all liking the Bears. Free agency fandom.
I'll give you credit.
Okay.
I'll give you credit. I think
loved your last 3 off seasons.
I wouldn't say loved, but you did well the last 3 off seasons. It didn't make a damn bit of difference.
Everybody the last 3 off seasons. Too bad they didn't do it for your ex-son. What was his name? Justin Fields.
He's coming to hang out with you now.
Yeah, they're gonna break his ass over there.
Yeah,
man.
they are absolutely going to
be a tough team. Oh man, the Jets. What a show! That's gonna be a show.
Oh yes. Janzi, Bears still have weakest tackles. Interior. Oh, you talking about offensive tackle? Oh, probably defensive tackle. Hey, we have a solid line. I dare I say that the Bears have the best defense in the NFC now.
They had a good defense before everybody got hurt. They had a real good defense before.
They did.
They got corners. They got a pass rusher. They had a good defense. It's just a lot of people got hurt last year.
Dre, you wanted to say something?
The best defense. The thing is,
on paper, we're getting there.
I used to think it was the Eagles, but they kind of gave up a lot. They've lost they're down to basically, I think Mitchell, Blankenship, and Dijon at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know how they're doing. I guess they're really sold on some of the lower end ones, but we'll see what happens there.
Eagles would be just fine, bro.
Howie Roseman does a good job. So yes.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. He's
that's
I would say arguably the best GM, in no bias whatsoever. It's just he's ridiculous. The fact that he was able to do what he's able to do is somehow not illegal at times, because he's able to pull things off that I don't expect anyone to ever pull off. So he'll probably figure something out. I don't know what, but yeah.
Now Kwesi's starting to pull stuff off. So let's go ahead and go to the Vikings. Obviously, we don't have a lot of talk about the Lions and the Packers, really. So let's just focus on right now. The Vikings obviously have had a great offseason so far as well. Obviously, signing Jonathan Allen, we'll start there. 3-year, $60 million contract. That's pretty huge. What are your thoughts on that one, Dre?
Yeah, I like that. I think that, obviously, defensive tackle. I love Harrison Phillips. I think he's been decent enough, but I think putting another big man there, I think he's not as fast, I think, as Darnold, not Darnold, the guy on the Rams from a few years ago. But I think from a size perspective, he's kind of similar, and I think he's done decently, obviously, in Washington. So I'm actually very excited. I think he had said prior to obviously the tampering stuff that he was, or legal tampering time, he was interested in coming. So I wasn't as surprised by that one. I think that one, I'm happy about it. I think honestly, so far my favorite signing actually just came from I think like a few hours ago at this point. With them bringing back Harrison Smith, I did not expect that honestly. So I think like that's one of my favorite like re-signings. Not even for like I don't think he's good. He's not as good, but it's just more just like I am so happy that he's. I think at this point, like he'll have like maybe next year and then he'll retire, and then as a Viking, I'm fine with it. So. Yeah, but anyway, going back to Allen, I think that was a good pickup. I think they're overall they're attacking their needs at this point very well, especially with the very small amount of draft picks that they have in the draft.
Jonathan Allen is a pretty good pass rushing tackle, but he's not good against the run. He's not.
So here's the risk as well. And Miles, I don't know if you saw this a little bit too. Allen did suffer torn pectoral muscle in his final season with Washington, cost him 9 games. I believe he's 30 years old. I mean, obviously there's a risk right there. Miles, are you in that Brian Flores defense? I mean, are you afraid of Jonathan Allen?
Afraid? No. It's not a bad move. But, I don't think it's something where, he's some kind of savior or anything. It's not a bad move. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think that the Vikings are trying to pull off a rebuild kind of on the fly. And that, guys like that are pieces of that. You bring in a veteran guy, you hope you don't have to, coach him up as much. He's got a smaller learning curve than some of these other guys maybe. But, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those where, I think there was a few Packers fans that wanted him. And then, there's obviously the other side of Packers fans where if you get injured, you are not welcome in Green Bay. So, it's not a bad move, but it doesn't make me any more afraid of the Vikings this year.
I like Hargrave better.
Okay.
I like Hargrave.
So are you thinking the Vikings took a step up so far then 7th letter?
Yeah, the defense is better. Yeah.
All right.
Get better. You know what I mean? They got better. But the Bears and the Vikings got better.
Yeah. Well, and then on the offensive line as well, here's the other move. Will Freeze, guard, former Colt, is headed to Minnesota. It looks like it's going to be the Minnesota Colts now, I believe. Right, with Kelly.
They got the center too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
They got Yeah, they got to protect that rookie, man, because if rookies get hit too much, they lose confidence, So yeah, that's good. They got better.
Yeah, those moves to me are far more impactful than the Jonathan Allen signing. Those are some good O-line moves there, and they needed those. Yeah.
Well, and then with that as well. Oh, good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think like it was kind of almost like a lot of Vikings fans, at least, were thinking like to get both of them was like almost a pipe dream. They thought definitely get one of them, and that's great. But I don't think they expected like them to get both. I mean, Indianapolis was like I think number 6 in like least amount of sacks allowed last year. So like getting that, especially with like y'all said, like with McCarthy being that rookie and stuff, like the pass protection, like they had a lot of issues, especially with Darisaw going down. Like there was holes that they had to fix, and I think like y'all said it, Darisaw coming back, you add O'Neal, like our offensive line is real, like definitely improved, given everyone stays healthy, obviously. So I think Jandy said in the whole aspect in the chat, it's we have low draft capital, so we're able to like maximize pretty much our needs in free agency for. Really, like the signings of, like I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but I know that they're not like extreme, like expensive deals or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it's I'm pretty happy about that. And then going into Jones, just because it looked like you were about to go there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another thing I'm happy about, I think that I did not expect another 2-year contract, but I'll take it. I still think like they need to figure out the draft. And potentially take a running back in the draft, especially with how deep the class is. Mm-hmm. But like having him there, obviously veteran thing. I think that's going to be great. And I mean, he's played well. Going over 1,000 yards at his age is honestly a big accomplishment. And like, if he doesn't get banged up, he can potentially do it again, especially with obviously an improved offensive line.
Well, and also, obviously, I don't know if you're hearing this too. I found this that Kevin O'Connell has made clear that he wants to build a more of a running back by committee system. So, fantasy football, if you're hearing that, maybe stay away from Aaron Jones. You know, he's not going to be the bell cow back. But yeah, maybe as a rookie. And I don't know, are you all that high on Ty Chandler? I mean, can he be that kind of good mix? Or, you know, if they don't really land,
they used to be.
They did. They were also high on Kenny Nwangwu, if you remember that.
Yeah, yeah, he was fat. Nwangwu was fast. I think that was the main thing.
I thought you said he was fat.
Yeah, and then
they're good.
There's not Eddie Lacy.
I like
fat.
Chandler. I have nothing against him. I think he just has a lot of raw talent, if anything. So it's kind of, and he's not like the best like pass blocker. So I think, like, he could be good, but I think like there's a lot of work there that needs to be done. So I think that's why obviously they want Jones to come back, and that's why I think if anything they bring a decent rookie in to be able to complement that and honestly have kind of a work into that and eventually obviously replace Jones and or like supplement Chandler if that comes down to it as well.
Tell you what, like, you know, obviously, as you all know, I slept on the Vikings last year and all that, but I think Kwesi is a solid GM. He's really making moves to keep the Vikings.
You can't draft.
You can't draft if you don't have picks, right?
He had picks. What you talking about?
Hey,
he just traded him away for the quarterback last year. But he has picks. What you talking about? He doesn't draft good.
He traded for Turner, not the QB.
Yeah,
he traded one away. He had 2 first-round picks. He got the quarterback and Turner. Turner was
rookie.
That's all right. He was the first-round pick. He could have done more than that. Come on, man. He had a good draft yet.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out, right? Obviously, Vikings fans are pinning their hopes on J.J. McCarthy. If J.J. is good when the second contract is around, we'll have to draft then. Can't avoid it forever. Yeah, so not sure what will they have to draft another quarterback? I don't know. We're going to find out. It'll be interesting. There's still a lot on the table for the Vikings quarterback situation as well, right? I mean, I don't know if they get a certain player to come and complete the arc, the holy trinity of quarterback arc, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. I mean, obviously, JJ is ready to go as far as injury wise, right? So, I mean,
I think
do it.
I mean, I think Rodgers at this point is becoming like, as it is, like one of the more obviously talented quarterbacks on the market, because obviously a lot of them have been taken already.
Just say it, Dre.
So I'm not sure how I feel about it at this point.
Come on, say you
it's
want him.
Possible.
Come on.
I don't
say you
want him. I don't.
Oh, come on.
I don't. No, I don't want him. But the thing is that I don't know. There's like rumors of Jameis Winston coming. Like there's a bunch of random rumors.
That's better.
I mean, Jameis Winston's not much difference than Nick Mullins, except Jameis Winston has
got a strong ass arm.
Yeah, but he's just as reckless with it.
Turnover, yeah.
He's crackish with the recklessness too. Like, yo, why you do that?
Oh man, hey, I'm waiting for Rodgers to go to Minnesota. I think that's what's happening. I think it's inevitable, and I think that's ultimately what has to happen for Jordan Love to complete the prophecy and win his Super Bowl.
Yo, I
think. And then he's gonna go. Then he's gonna go to the Jets, and then he's gonna come to the Vikings in probably 10 years.
I
saw that Aaron Rodgers was talking to the Giants.
Yeah, I think what at last I saw, the hired ones are Giants and Pittsburgh at this point.
I think he'd be really good with Pittsburgh.
I think so too. Yeah,
I don't think push around the coach over there. You know what I'm saying? He'd
No.
be all right with it. And they got more weapons at Pittsburgh than the Giants do. The Giants, they do got that young boy though. But you see how he is. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really. He had Garrett Wilson. He ain't really want to use him.
He did not. No.
Garrett Wilson is a beast, yo. Little guy, but whew.
He is absolutely. Well, some other obviously Vikings. Theo Jackson, safety, staying with the Vikings. I think that's another good one. Isaiah Rodgers, former Philadelphia Eagles cornerback, and I'm not really sure on some of these players. Obviously, they're if they're just depth pieces or how good some of these players are. I don't know if
$7 million a year he's playing.
He's playing. All right.
Yeah, especially. I think he's definitely. I think he's been decent. Like I think he's been a good slot receiver. So I think that's gonna go definitely go on the opposite side of Murphy, who they obviously brought back, which is I'm also very happy about that one. I think that one was a really good signing, keeping him around. So yeah, that if anything, that was a worry of mine. So and honestly, all of the free agents that we Shaq Griffin and all them, technically we could still bring them back. I don't think they've signed anywhere. I haven't seen anything. I don't know if they will, but we can still technically bring them back. We'll see what happens if that happens. But I think at minimum a B+ free agency so far. So I don't think I can be too disappointed unless they trade away Jefferson somehow, which they're not going to do. But
no,
if they did that, then it would instantly drop to an F. But
We'll get to 7th letters F very soon. Let's do the Packers free agents. It's gonna be crickets for you, 7th letter. But let's do the Packers free agents. Yeah, the big one here, obviously. You needed some line help. Aaron Banks. What are your thoughts on Aaron Banks with the Packers here? Miles?
Yeah, I like it. This is the time of year where I just kind of throw my hands up and say, in Goot we trust. He's not perfect. No one's perfect, but he's been pretty darn good. He's been pretty darn good with free agents too. They've gotten good value. Most of the guys have played well at some point, if not, consistently over their time. So yeah, it seems like a solid signing to me. He blocked well in San Francisco. I think if he can play in a Shanahan offense, he should be able to play in a LaFleur offense. So, I like this one. I mean, I don't know how I would grade it yet because I'm not super familiar with him, but just value, need, kind of trust in Goot and the evaluation. They've evaluated O-line pretty well. I like it. I give it at least probably a B+, with room to make that better, I guess, or worse, I suppose, when reality comes around. But yeah, I'd call it a B+, knowing what I know now.
And what did I see? There was a Packer lineman that signed somewhere else as well that you lost. Oh God, who was it that I just saw sign somewhere else?
The center.
Yes.
Myers. Yeah, he signed it with the Jets.
That's what it was. He
signed for 1 year, $3 million or something like that. So, it was kind of telling what the market was for him. And a lot of Packers Twitter response was, oh, wow, I guess the Packers really did not want him back. Because, I mean, for that money, it's kind of hard to turn down a good veteran. But I think, he just was never a spectacular center for the Packers. He was serviceable, probably at best. And at worst, he was a liability. So, yeah, it's one of those situations, and the Packers have had a lot of this where it's like, good dude, you don't want to say bad things about him. Seems like a world-class human, but, it's just like, if you're not good, you're not good. So happy for him that he's got another shot at it, and he and Justin Fields are familiar with each other, so maybe there will be some good synergy there. But overall, I like the exchange there, bringing Banks in, letting Myers walk. I think that's an overall net positive.
All right. And some other net positives, possibly, obviously, Nate Hobbs, cornerback, giving former Raiders cornerback 4-year, $48 million deal. What do you know about Nate Hobbs?
Yeah, I like this one. He fits the mold. The Packers are really sticking with this larger cornerback kind of mold, and it seems like Jair sort of set the floor of that. They haven't drafted anybody smaller than him, and he was obviously Goot's first draft pick. So yeah, it's interesting. He fits it. He's 6'1", 200. He's a big dude. A lot of Raiders fans, from what I saw, and this, just probably me hearing what I want to hear, but they kind of equated this to when the Packers let Casey Hayward go. It's like they felt like he was just sort of entering his prime and wanted the Raiders to have him back. I don't know what the heck the Raiders are up to. I don't know that they know what they're up to. I think they were kind of shooting from the hip with the Max Crosby thing. So yeah, I sure hope that that's what this is. That kind of maybe like a little reverse karma there for the Packers to get that back from when they let Hayward walk. But yeah, I'm optimistic about it. He seems like a dude who's going to fit Hafley's system. It sounded like somebody said that he excelled the most when he was in a heavy cover 3 system, and that's what he's going to seemingly be playing with Hafley. So I like it. And again, it's kind of one of those, like, it could go either way. I don't think he's expected to come in and be the best cornerback that the Packers have. I think that he definitely adds good depth at a position where they needed bodies last year and still do. And I don't know how much optimism they have about this draft class. I'm not super wild about the corners in this class right now. There's a few good ones, but it just doesn't feel very deep, especially when you limit it down to that mold that the Packers tend to stick with, the bigger guys. And typically faster guys as well. They stick with those higher RAS scores. But yeah, so I like it. I think it's a good veteran presence. He's kind of in that same area, entering his prime. He's 25, 26 years old. Obviously Bisaccia probably likes him. He knows him, and he had some really nice words to say when Bisaccia left the Raiders to go to the Packers. So it feels like he checks a lot of boxes as far as, what they look for. And, again, they're not 100% hit, but, when they get these guys, they tend to hit on. I mean, Rasul Douglas, they pluck him off of a practice squad. They bring in Keyshawn Nixon when he really wasn't much of a name that most people knew. And now they feel like he's, one of their best 2 cornerbacks. So they tend to know what they're looking for in these guys, and they're probably projecting forward with these signings usually. And I think fans probably don't always see that first, right? Especially maybe with more emotionally invested players. But I see that with these guys. You're hoping that their best football's in front of them, and I like it. I think that they didn't overpay for anybody, and they gave themselves some flexibility going into the draft.
So I love that you said that. So it is always comical listening to, especially in Wisconsin, and listening to Wisconsin sports radio. And before they had the first day, it was just, oh, I can't believe we're not signing anybody. But then they were like, well, at least we didn't overpay like the Chicago Bears. I mean, get out of here. Come on. That's another way of saying, I didn't get the prom queen, but
but
she wasn't my type anyway. Yeah, she was.
She was. Type anyway.
But you did.
She's crazy. I dodged a bullet, so it's fine.
Yeah, I dodged. Yes, exactly.
Hey, y'all sent Stokes over there to Las Vegas.
Stokes.
Oh
Stokes
yeah.
in Las
No,
Vegas
I was
now?
okay with that. His time was up. Time was up. He was not doing well there this year. And before that, he was having some injury issues. He's one of those where it's like his rookie year was great, but he just never returned to that. I hope he returns to that form. I wish the best for him.
Right?
Again, like a good dude, but yeah, his time was up.
He was fast.
Super fast. He was like 4.26 or something.
Speed on Madden. He fast as shit.
What about I almost said OJ McDuffie. What about Isaiah McDuffie? What's that?
Yeah, I like Isaiah McDuffie. Oh, sorry, man. I cut you off.
No. Isaiah McDuffie, good. He one of the better linebackers.
Okay.
No, I like it. I think that this is one of those, and the Packers do this sometimes. I think that they wanted to do this with Aaron Jones, but this is one of those locker room, film rooms kind of signings where he is very familiar with the Hafley system. He seemed like he really thrived in that first year, last year in the system. Probably played some of his best ball at linebacker. I mean, he was really good at special teams before that, but he came in and had some really good linebacker snaps last season. So I like it. I think it's good stability, good veteran presence in that room. And it's the way I read into it is that they believe that he can help the development of both Cooper and Walker as they keep, go forward in the system. But Goot, he said a couple times already that Walker and Devontae Wyatt are guys that he wants to be part of the long term for the Packers. So that I think has a lot to do with it. He tends to prefer to have some veterans leading the way for those young guys.
Absolutely. Now, on the crown jewel of the Packers free agency so far, Brandon McManus, bringing him back. We got
A+, man. A++.
Guy.
So thank God. Thank you.
$15.3 million contract. Tell you what, I mean, kickers make a difference. I mean, that's what my son was always saying. How many games were the Packers won? Who was that rookie kicker? I mean, before McManus, I mean, it was kind of a wasteland. So
we were in kicker hell before McManus.
Crosby was good for y'all.
Nah,
well, right, but there was
none of y'all can talk
between Crosby and McManus.
I'm not hearing any of that ridiculousness. No. Kicker hell, we claim that. I'm saying that right now. Man. None of y'all are taking that.
All right. Hey, that's we finally found one of Dre's hot buttons. All right, there we go. We got it.
It's any Vikings fans' hot button.
Kicker.
Oh man.
So, awesome. Dre, are you worried about these Packers signings then?
I mean, I think it's a standard free agency. Like, I mean, not like I think like it's not like bad signings. It's just I mean, it's okay. Like I'm not shaking in my boots, but I'm not like upset by it. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Like decent signing.
Like the only time it surprised me is when they had Charles Woodson. Like, that's the only time. Like everything else,
right? Genzi's right. They're safe signings, and I think the Packers they do that.
Reggie White, like hold up, where we at? Like I'm saying, like that's it. That's the only time they really kind of splash, really. You know.
Well, last year, obviously they had
Josh Jacobs.
That was huge. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? Josh Jacobs kind of like, you know what I mean? You know, he led the league in rushing a couple years ago, but it was like nobody really cared about running backs again until last year. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, fair.
I like that signing though. I like that signing.
It made sense, and obviously,
I'm so glad they didn't get Debo or DK. Woo! I told you I ain't want that. So glad.
And they really signed playmakers draft. So yeah, I mean, obviously living here in Wisconsin, I'm hearing a lot of like complaints of like, what's gonna receiver wise, you missed out on all the big receivers.
Still Cooper Kupp.
Cooper, he's not coming to Green Bay. Cooper Kupp.
That's a rumor. That's what I've seen. That's a rumor. That's what I've seen.
No, he'd come to Chicago.
I just don't think he fits that mold that they talked about. Good especially he specified like, we don't want to sign guys that are at the tail end of their career, and I think he qualifies as that. It's not to say that he's done, but I'd say he's at the tail end. So I don't think that happens. One that and this again, he kind of sits in the same bucket, but I don't know if the Packers maybe see him a little different. I don't know his exact age, but Amari Cooper is one that I thought maybe could sneak his way into Green Bay on like a 1-year contract.
I would be scared of that one. I think that would be an under the radar pick. I think he is a solid receiver. I think he's kind of he was hiding out in Cleveland, right? I mean, and then he was in Buffalo too. But he got hurt in Buffalo, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I think he just kind of like didn't like pick. He had like a few decent plays. He just didn't like learn the playbook fast enough. Because I was watching him there. Like, he was fine. Like, I don't think he was awful. I just think he was. I think at the end, obviously, a mid-season trade. So, fine. But I think if he's given a full, relatively speaking, off season and to study the playbook going into like preseason, he could still be decent.
He could be.
If he goes in. He's still, I think, pretty fresh. Like, he hasn't had, like blowout seasons, but he hasn't had like terrible seasons either. So
Yeah.
Well, speaking of terrible, let's just go ahead and with the Lions free agent signings. Crickets, anybody? Crickets. Crickets. Anybody?
That's okay.
Anybody? Oh, I found one here. They signed George Lopez. Roy Lopez, defensive tackle deals for 1 year, $4.65 million. He's also going to do a sitcom, on the side as well. Funny guy. Seventh letter. I mean, did you get your guy here or what?
That's awesome.
Nah, man, you know what we needed? We needed depth, right? So we got some depth. So we'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a good D line already. So I'm all right. Everybody come back. So we draft another pass rusher. We all right. I'm all right. We still at the top. Y'all trying. Do you know why you signed all those people? Do you know why?
Exactly.
Because I already got
coaching staff. We have a new coaching staff. Staff.
Listen, when good
I
teams,
will say
good
the
teams,
DJ Reed pickup wasn't bad. I was a little
okay.
about that one.
DJ Reed, and I met DJ Reed when he came to visit my son when he was in the hospital. And you know what he said? He saw me with my Lions stuff on. He said, "You know what? I like y'all." Now look,
there we go.
I got a signed helmet, a signed Jets DJ Reed helmet.
Dang, man, that's cool. That's cool as hell.
Yeah,
That's a good story. I like that.
And he's one of the better cornerbacks. So we lost Carlton Davis, but we got somebody that, kind of, and he's cheaper. Carlton Davis was good to us, but the Patriots paid him more. Patriots have a good defense over there. But I mean, I'm okay with that. I have to sign, you know what I'm saying? I got to sign Kirby Joseph this summer. You know what I'm saying? I got people to sign. That was good already. So the reason why you bought all those people, y'all bought all those people this week is because y'all trying to catch up to us. We 15-2, bro. We the champs.
Speaking of crying, let's go ahead and talk about the podcast. The St. Brown on the St. Brown podcast. Holy cow, they were just like crying. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I know he was.
He knows what Ben's doing. He knows what Ben's doing.
I think the Bears are going to be better, but it took a lion to come over there and fix your bullshit team. He over there. Hold up. Bitch over there talking about grit. Like, come on, man. Yo.
Let's see. I don't. Miles Adams, is that a good pickup too, or is that another cricket?
He's depth.
It's a good name. All right. Strong name. He's got to be a good player.
Oh, absolutely. And he doesn't mess around with the I, right? It's got to be a Y.
Exactly. That's how you know he's legit.
Got to be a Y.
It's depth,
why?
Man. That's all.
Because we know you're good.
I need that. So when your defensive line, let's say, God forbid, Grady gets hurt, then what you gonna do? You got to put somebody else in behind him, right? Okay, so we all right. We all right.
So I really wish Shelby was here. All right, and she'll come back as well. Obviously, and I don't know if you guys remember the seventh letter. You may remember this. Marcus Davenport signed with the Vikings in one of our best clips ever. I put that up there. And no, you'll get this. Shelby had dated Marcus, so that was she's like, oh well, that's my ex-boyfriend. All right, thanks, Shelby. So now he is a Lion. And I think she called him. I think she called him soft. I think she called him soft. So. I think she called him soft. So.
Damn.
He broke. He
Shots
popped.
Fired.
He popped his bicep. So, I mean, like he couldn't play. But when he was playing, he crushed the pocket. That's what you want. That's all. Like, that's the type of defense we play. Derek Barnes got hurt the first game of the year. Like, he back again. Like, I'm all right. I'm okay. You guys had to sign all those people because you didn't have what I already got. Okay? I already got that.
I'm glad I've got the current prom queen. You have the former prom queen. So I'm all about that.
Who's that?
All my free agents and Ben Johnson, the current one. Right. You have the old one. Out with the old.
All I'm saying is you better win. That's all. You got a lot of fucking mouth today. You better fucking win, bro.
I did, yeah.
Better win, man. Oh my god.
Joseph
better
throwing
win.
shots here. Ben cut Swift yet? He like him. Yeah, that's probably
He
true.
don't block, and
I
he's
mean, yeah.
That may be coming. Absolutely.
He
We'll
knows the
see.
offense though. He knows the
He
offense.
does.
He does play well. He did play well. It's just he don't break a lot of tackles. And but he do get nasty when he got to open.
And hey, if we get like Ashton Genty, or I feel like this draft class,
You're not getting Genty.
it's possible.
You need a left tackle.
What pick do the Bears
need a
have?
left tackle.
10.
10? Oh, yeah.
You
can
need
make
a
it
left
to 10.
tackle. You need a left tackle.
Definitely need a tackle though. Hey, listen, yeah, you guys are you're on the right track. Don't get distracted now.
Draft
You
the
just
tackle.
brought in some really quality offensive line free agents.
Go ahead.
Don't
Look at him.
get
Look at Genty
Don't
now.
complete the job.
There's enough running backs that
Miles, look at his face. He about to do the dumb shit again. Look. Genty does sound good. Yo, you need a left tackle. Okay? You need a
He's
left
pretty
tackle.
big. Maybe Genty can play left tackle also.
Okay, there
I'll
you
take
go.
that.
All right. I can't wait to beat the shit out you again. I can't wait.
Well,
I can't wait.
well,
God.
let me see here. It's Lions fans getting Miles. Oh yes. No.
I gotta pay $800.
Packer fans were saying that. I think.
Oh yeah, we were all over the place.
Trev,
I
shout out to RevTrev was
apologize.
saying that
Packers
too.
fans just can't help but be hysterical in the offseason. We're just all over the place. We got to chill out a little bit.
Just chill out. Hey, and I even had Bears fans on Twitter telling me to chill out because I said the Bears have the best defense in NFC now. Hey, I'm not chilling out. This is my year. Like I said, and maybe I was there in 2023. I said that, but now it's for real. This is the Bears' year.
Okay.
We're making it happen. We're making it happen, especially since what we have in the draft. We've already got all this free agent money and stuff like that, draft stuff. So I want to go ahead and talk about some draft prospects. I think Seventh Letter, you had some thoughts. You can maybe get your stuff ready in Miles, or did you have some stuff on the draft? Did you talk about prospects that you liked?
I know I want to be top of the draft. I need a pass rusher.
Okay.
Period.
Oh, so you do need players. The Lions do need players.
Yeah, everybody needs players.
All right.
Everybody.
All right.
Yo, the Eagles need players. They just want to Super Bowl.
I mean, they gave up a lot.
They did.
I lost a couple people to free agents. I lost Kevin Zeitler today to the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, I thought he was going to sign with the Bears, and he actually is, from Milwaukee area here. So, went to Wisconsin Lutheran.
I ain't paying that old man all that money they pay him.
Yeah. He's 34, almost 35. Yeah,
he's 36.
Nah. Oh, yeah. Maybe when he signed, he was 34. Yeah.
He might be 30. Hold on. He might be 34. Let me see. But yeah, I'm not paying that man all that money.
Hey, he's given all his money. He actually has my son actually played on the field, Wisconsin Lutheran. It's his field. Kevin
35.
Zeitler. Yeah.
35 years old. He just turned 35.
All right.
You can have that $12 million, bro. I'm good. I'm good.
So you need a pass rusher. Now, Miles, what about you? Obviously, the Packers need a whole lot to contend, right?
What's that?
The Packers need a whole lot in the draft.
Let him win. You should have never let him win that last game. You should have never let him win.
Considering that, Miss McCaskey, passed away. It's like a nice gesture. I feel better about that now. That was like her last Bears game that she got to see. So it's okay. Fair enough.
The start of a dynasty. Absolutely.
I don't know about all that, but you at least get to feel that way for a couple more months.
Hey, I got all this energy now with all this. Man, I am so pumped. But hey, let's go ahead and talk Packers now. I'll settle down a little bit here.
Okay. Yeah, no, just general draft thoughts or what? Yeah.
So, do you have some players in mind that you would like, kind of the Packers now to kind of look at? Obviously, as free agency kind of starts to, kick off, there's some maybe players you're like, okay, well, now that's not as much of a fit as I thought. And obviously it's going to continue to kind of snowball as we get closer to draft, which I'm excited about.
Of course. Well, So no, one thing I could call out pretty quick, and I've talked about this a lot now the last couple of years. Goot has a bit of a pattern going on. The positions he prioritizes in free agency are the positions he prioritizes early in the draft. So you can see that last year, or maybe in the draft in general. You know, we got 3 safeties in the draft last year after signing McKinney. You know, you go off, you sign Josh Jacobs, you also get Marshawn Lloyd. So, you know, he shows you a little bit what he's thinking with his free agency picks. So I do expect early, you know, day 1, day 2 to probably see some investment in O-line and cornerback. Now the cornerback position I think is a little tougher. I don't think the guys on day 1 are going to be there that they want to see, but you know, one guy that I would like to see that I think is, you know, he kind of started a little bit further back and now has been climbing boards is Derek Harmon from Oregon, D lineman. Really just seems like he's got a strong draft profile. Had a ton of pressures last season. He's flying a little bit under the radar because this defensive line class is just loaded beyond belief. But good size, great athlete. You know, and you listen to a couple interviews of him. Sounds like he's got real strong character. Kind of sounded like a natural leader out there at Oregon as far as, you know, his expectations for the other guys around him. So, you know, that's a guy that I'd like to see. You know, but I don't get too caught up in draft crushes. I've had my heart broken enough. I think what I root for is just to see some good quality moves made. And you know, fortunately, Goot is an entertaining draft GM, so we shouldn't be bored on draft day. I do wonder how many round 1 graded guys are actually in this draft, though. I think there's a lot after that, right? I think it's probably pretty deep in round 3, 4, 5, where maybe 4 or 5 you're getting some maybe 2, 3 round graded guys. And I just, maybe this is one of those drafts where there's only like 15 or 20 true round 1 grade guys. I'm no draft guru, but that's what it feels like. You know, it just feels like the star power is not as deep in this one. So I'm almost rooting for the Packers to either trade up maybe into the teens, get in there into that closer to 15 range and get a higher quality player, or trade back, get an extra pick or 2 in the, you know, in those later rounds. Because the D-line depth is nuts. The running back depth is nuts. There's some really good O-line depth. And, you know, the Packers are pretty good at taking a couple swings at those deeper positions. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it so far.
Tell you what, like if the Green Bay Packers with the draft in Green Bay, if they trade back out of the first round, that's going to be absolutely nuts. I mean, like – when I was in Kansas City for that draft, and they
man,
I don't think they had a pick or something. They ended up getting local Kansas State guy, but it was just it was crazy but they were obviously at the end of the draft. They traded out, and I think they traded back in. But I think just for I mean, the local fans you have to do that day 1 pick for the Packers. So that would be
been pretty clear. He's been asked that a couple times. Is like, has no bearing. He almost, so the way that he phrased this in one of his more, I think this was a combine interview, and somebody had asked him if he's ever been to the draft. He's never been to the draft because he's always been in the war room at the stadium. And so he's like, in a way, I won't be at this draft either, right? Because he's going to be in the same place doing the same thing. So I think he's really trying to make a point that doesn't matter. But he's also playing a lot of poker right now. You know what I mean? Every GM is playing poker. Everything they say is going to be hyper analyzed, and it's going to cause somebody to move one way or another. So I'm not going to get into predicting, you know, whether he will or won't. I really truly believe him when he says that has no bearing. I don't think that he's here to do popular things, you know, and he's proved that with some of his moves. He could have pretty easily paid maybe a couple million more and kept Aaron Jones if he wanted to be popular. And he, you know, but Josh Jacobs was a pretty quick rebound to that. So, but yeah, so I really don't believe that has any bearing. He seems pretty square on that. But I do think that they want to come out of day 1 with a guy, because, you know, you're at that point, and kind of to Seventh Letter's point, the Packers don't need a ton of bodies. You don't need to add 10 draft picks to this roster. You know, and Goot loves getting as many draft picks as he can get. He said that. He's been very open about that. But the math isn't mathing for me. You know, adding 10 new bodies to this thing, and they love to keep their draft picks. I just don't see it. So, you know, and so that's where I think I hope at least that they're looking for more quality than quantity. And hopefully if they do only have, in that case, you know, 15 round one graded guys, hopefully they're trying to maneuver to get up. And I think they have the capital to do that. You know, you got Malik Willis there, valuable asset, but he also could be making a run at a starter job for somebody who wants a little bit more of a stable guy in that position this year. And of course, Jair Alexander, man, that's one of the hot button topics right now. I'm in the minority camp in that I think he's going to be with the Packers in 2025. Old Bob Domofsky would like to cut him. I just can't get my mind wrapped around. I don't understand why you just cut him, I guess, because because he just can't get healthy. That's just so stupid.
He's an asset. You got to get something for him.
A lot.
Yeah.
You got to get something for him. If you can't, then it's like, well, this guy's not just dead. He's going to be able to play football again, presumably. There haven't been reports otherwise. So, you know, maybe he'll be healthy and you'll have a potential all-pro corner in the room. I mean, my goodness, what a terrible thing that could be. And it's, you know, I could get it if they were in some financial trouble and you got to get rid of his numbers. That would totally make sense, but that's not where they are. And so I get really annoyed at some of these reports because I know that they're just reporters being bored.
Just trying to create a story. Absolutely. So here's one story. I'm going to say something good about all of us, even the Vikings, the Packers. There are no QBs making the draft class look, so it does make it look worse. So I think this is probably the first year that none of us need a quarterback, right? We've at least got some type of answer.
That's true. That's a good quarterback.
So, so this is not that I'm in the camp that JJ is good, but I'll just say the Vikings, I think they've got some sort of plan, right? So, and JJ could be really good, especially with the big KOC, I think, too. So I had to get that in there, seventh letter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of yay as well, Brad Holmes. So he's a draft guy, 15 guys with first round grades last year.
Oh, there we go. I was just kind of pulling that number out, but yeah, sometimes that's what it is. That's, you know, there's less than you think.
Brad Holmes. Wow. Okay. And let's see. Okay. So yeah, Brad Holmes said, if you're in the hometown, it's hard to trade out day one. There's a lot of pressure there, especially with everything. So, you know, but to your point, the Packers do things kind of counterculturally. You know, they're kind of free agents. We'll draft. We'll draft wide receivers late. And so.
I mean, if they wanted to be popular, there's a lot more receiver things they would have done over the last 5 years. I mean, they could have even brought in Devontae Adams this year if they wanted to be popular. So that's where I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't care nothing about being popular, man.
No.
Or winning, evidently.
Oh, hey.
That's fine.
Numbers don't lie, sir.
So what about the Dre? What about the Vikings? Oh, sorry, I got to change this here. What about the Vikings? As far as the draft,
sorry, what you got written under your name, yo? Go back to that last one.
Oh, you want to see that? Lambo is.
Oh my goodness! What kind of nonsense?
Okay. All right, I try to hide that.
We gotta get this view out of here.
Oh my god, yo, look how you acting.
That was for my eyes only, but now the world has seen it. It is Caleb's crib.
Oh my god! Yo.
Oh, you got to do more than that to earn that.
Oh my god!
I mean all right, so let's talk about the Vikings, and we'll just have this view up here. So Dre,
here we go. All right.
So Vikings, I mean, they fill a lot of holes. I mean, like, what else do you think they need? I mean, obviously they don't have a lot of draft capital, but they're going to get some players. I don't know if it's just depth or.
Yeah, I think, I mean, with our, like, we have, like, right now, as of right now, without any potential trades coming, like, we only have, like, 4 picks overall, which is not obviously a lot. So I personally think that I would rather vote for is that, like, with their first pick, I would say go running back, or the only offensive line I would really fight for, because based on who I think is going to be available, is what's his name? Booker from Alabama. I think he could be really good. He like does decent in pass protection, and I think he just could be coached really well. But we've obviously done a lot on the offensive line, so if he's not available at that point, I think like we can wait until the third round for that. I think if it were me, I would go with a running back at for our first round, because since we're so far back in it, it's like, and then we don't right now, we don't draft again until the third round, and it's late third round, so it's like there's a lot of things that could happen in that time frame. So like I would say my if Caleb Johnson's available, I like him.
Out of Iowa.
But I would say my personal favorite is, and I think he's going to be kind of a sleeper and kind of like riding on the radar, is Damian Martinez from Miami. I really like him a lot. I
got to watch him in high school. He played down here in Texas. Yeah, he's been a stud since freshman year of high school, man.
Why does I like Scatterbull, yo? Nobody likes Scatterbull? Like nobody does, yo.
I would love to see the Bears go with him later on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, y'all don't understand the importance of being rugged in December and January, man. You need rugged, and he rugged.
But you can't spend a first round pick on him. He's a solid third round pick.
I'll spend a second on him. I think that what he'll bring to the team, the attitude, the way he run. Oh man. Yeah, I mean,
back in the 20s, not crazy to get 50.
I just like the breaking tackles. I like that hungry, that tenacity, that nastiness. I don't know.
Dre's on it though with Martinez. He's got that too. Martinez.
I agree 100%. I think he has a lot of like, he can break tackles. He's a big guy. Yeah.
So,
and I think that's something that the Vikings need, is that like kind of downhill running back. Yeah, he has like some issues, like arguably passing the ball, but he just hasn't been in systems that like have like really needed that so much. So it's like he's done fine. It's just like he hasn't been in a system that needs it. And I think like that could work. And he's worked both well, I think, like in different types of like offensive schemes, like when he was at
Oregon State first.
Yeah, like he did well there, obviously. And then when he went to Miami, he did really well. So it's like he's done well in both. And I think like he's not a day one starter. Obviously, the Vikings aren't thinking that anyone's going to be at this point with them bringing back Jones. But if they're able to like bring him in, like we kind of talked about earlier, as a collaborative like running back core, and then like eventually maybe going into that, I personally really like Martinez. I think like anyone who picks him up, I would love it if they did. If they don't, I think he's a kind of sleeper that's kind of like going under the radar. Yeah, you have obviously Henderson from Ohio State. I think he's kind of one of the bigger names aside from Genty, obviously. But I don't personally like Henderson, mainly because he's had some injury issues. And I think like, if anything, that's kind of just remnant of Jones anyway. So I don't want a Jones part 2 issue where it's just like in 2 years we're dealing with somebody who's come week 15 and he's like injured again.
So like, I'm gonna throw Janzi, thanks for the code here. Obviously running back in 20s is not crazy. You get 50 options. That's an interesting point there. I'm gonna actually give you a nickname here. You're not now you're not just Janzi, you're Ashton Janzi.
Oh wow!
Ashton Janzi, 5 years running back prime. Hey, I'm all about the bangers tonight. Right. And here's a shout out to Quasey going to trade back. We get a trade. Bradbury bum ass might get a pick for that bum.
I would call him bum, but I don't disagree with that. He's a
Trade
fine
that.
center. Like he's fine. Like he's plateaued for sure, but he's not like he hasn't like gone like this and like completely tanked. He's not a bad center. He's just not. He's not Jason Kelsey. He's not. Like,
I mean,
no one's gonna say that.
Wow, Ashton Jancy, a running back top 5. Holy cow! I'm gonna be at the draft.
I think he will go top 10.
You think he'll go top 10?
I'd say top 10.
He'll go top 10.
I don't know.
I think
I don't know if
he'll
he'll
go
go top 5.
He'll go number 10 to the Bears.
I think like the NFL is very reactionary, and I think because of the success running backs had last year, don't be surprised.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, and if you take his talent and translate it to the QB position, we would just everybody be losing their minds. You know what I mean? But because he's a running back, it's sort of downplay. But he's like one of the best running backs come out of the draft in the last several years. He's
although he could be. I'm just saying. What if the wear on his tire, or I mean, what if he's just like really worn down with how much they used him? I don't know. I if I'm a GM, I'm really going to kick those tires and see, with how much they used him. I mean, you just never running backs. They age really quickly, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I was worried about Josh Jacobs. About him going to the Packers, and I said, it's not going to be good. He's going to fall apart. How much the Raiders use him. Now he's young, so
he took the beating very well last year, man.
He did. Really did. He did. He's a big dude. Ashton look at it, Janzy. I didn't even notice. He's Ashton Janzy. Okay. All right. I missed this here. He's saying he's going top 5.
He was a 2-star.
Okay. Man,
he was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. Wow.
I didn't realize that. That's pretty big.
According to Rivals, he was 2-star.
Janzy's a 5-star in my book, so I missed that, Janzy.
Hell yes, I second that.
Just the amount people are talking about him, he's going to go top 5.
Sorry, Bears. Yeah. That means you're not getting him. Hey, but nice O-line you got there, though. You should add to it.
We are.
You don't have to.
Best player
go
available.
Draft a punter again.
You know where we're going to take the best player available once we get him at 10? We're taking him to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. Oh goodness. I'm saying. We've got some time to go over the schedule. I'm getting excited here, but I mean, I know 7th letter. You are excited for my Bears in 2025. I can feel it.
It's like it's going to be a very competitive year. Everyone got better. Yeah. It's going to be a very competitive year.
This is the equivalent. Who was that? The Detroit Lions player. Both teams played hard. Both teams played hard. Oh gosh, what was his name? Detroit Lions. Come on, anybody help me out here.
Well, it just makes me think of Marshawn Lynch. I'm just
that's Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace. Both teams played hard. 7th letter is worried. That's what when he is kind of giving that little sly smile. I know he's worried. I think I know him by now. He's worried.
I'm okay. I'm happy for you, man. I just remember, man. I put you over the Vikings last year.
You did. Chicago Sports Radio is talking about and obviously we'll talk about schedules, coming up as well. But if the Bears go 3-3 in the division this year, that will take.
The Bears go 3 and something again.
In the division. All right. Between we split the games in division, I think we'll take that. I think I don't know. I mean, 2 wins over the Packers. I'm smelling that, but
man, it's going to be ridiculous.
We are in prime offseason, aren't we?
Yes, I am. You know what? I'm excited. It's nice to be on this side of things.
You were on this side of things last year,
and
before that,
you've been on this side of things.
It's different.
It's different. Things with Justin Fields, when everybody tried to tell you that he was ass, and you kept calling him God every week.
Do you know why it's different now? Because Lambeau's Caleb's script. That's why it's different. That's why it's different.
She's the one. She's the one. This is the one.
Oh my God! Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a fun evening. What was this? What was the last loss for the Bears? Hey,
it's been a long time. This has been a long time because you guys beat us in 2018 and then you beat us in 2024. So, I mean, before that, like a long time.
The most important game is the last one. That's the most important game.
That's true.
That is true. That is true.
You had a streak.
It's true.
All right. Well, it's been a fun evening. Where can everyone find you, Dre, as we close out tonight?
You can find me at Skullman Sports on Facebook, X, and Blue Sky. Just hit me up. We'll talk Vikings.
I think what we'll have to do is, in the coming weeks, all-time NFL kickers and see how far a Vikings kicker is down on that all-time list. I think that might get you going.
Smashing some salt in there, man. Goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Ooh,
Hey, I
I
do
will
this.
say last year, Will the Thrill was not a bad kicker. I'll say
That's
that.
true, that's true.
Last year, we had one of the better kickers. So.
Hey, if you think I'm bad on
As a
here, I
rookie.
do this all day at work anyway, so I troll everybody. So that's my job, to troll everybody.
That's
so
good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. So I got to get it out here too. So we're gonna find you, Miles, as we close out.
Yes, y'all can find me Monday nights 9:30 Packers Talk YouTube channel. We got the Pack Weekly Pod every Monday. We are deep in the draft stuff right now, doing nothing but Packers stuff, man. Y'all come hang out with us. Go Pack, go!
A lot of great stuff. Definitely like and subscribe. All that stuff as well. You can find me on NFL Outdated on YouTube, on the Twitter X, on Freezin 4 Pod on the TikTok, and I'm coming for that top spot. I'm excited. But for now, seventh letter. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me 7th letter 4 on Twitter X, same OG on Instagram and Facebook, on top of the NFC North, and still on top of the NFC North. Fly high, AC baby. And it was a pleasure to see you guys again on this late ass Wednesday night. I'm gonna send a fucking doctor to my man house tonight because he was out of his fucking mind. He didn't take Seroquel today. But it was fun, as usual, of course.
Oh man, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, guys.
All right, thanks again. Once again, it's been the Freezin 4 North Podcast, episode 128. Free agency moves. Loving it. Have a great night, guys.
Go Pack, go!
Bear down.